March 31st, 1985 saw the very first WrestleMania in Madison Square Garden, which is the spiritual home of the WWF. Main event had Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff in a tag team match. And I mean, there's a ton of stars there too. Billy Martin of the New York Yankees, Cyndi Lauper, Liberace, and Muhammad Ali were all there. WrestleMania 1 isn't just a premier event, but it also marks a transition of sorts in wrestling, where it's going from being a form of entertainment kind of directed toward a very small niche audience to now this over-the-top Main Street entertainment spectacle. Jake, you started during this older era of wrestling, and now you're starting to hit your prime as it's morphing into a pop culture phenomenon. I mean, obviously, you would go on to be part of this pop culture spectacle, but at the time, how did you view this major shift in how the product was being presented?
Oh, at the time, I hated it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought they were exposing the business.
Because of, like, the cartoonish nature of it all?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you see people like Muhammad Ali, Cyndi Lauper, all these huge celebrities. Are you looking at it saying, like, boy, it's stupid, but there's an awful lot of money getting thrown around up there?
Yeah, there was a lot of change being tossed.
You know, it's what else is interesting about this is that Vince funded WrestleMania 1 with the sale of the Georgia time slot back to Ted Turner. So if our listeners recall, Vince's purchase of that time slot is what prompted you to leave Georgia and tell Vince to shove it up his ass. Now Vince is taking that moment and he's morphing it into probably one of the biggest moments in wrestling history up to that point.
Yep.
I mean,
move.
Yep. Now you, Jake, when you see that shit happening and know that you told Vince to shove it up his ass, and you also see all these celebrities and people making a shitload of money up there, I mean, are you like, man, in hindsight, maybe you should have stuck around?
Should have. I should have.
You never know what it would have done to your character at that point, though. Who knows if the snake idea would have come along?
No, you don't.
How do you remember how Watts would have reacted to this big spectacle event?
Oh, it was driving him insane.
Yeah.
Oh, he was going fucking crazy.
Do you know if he was trying to make any changes to the way that he was presenting wrestling?
No, he wasn't changing.
Well, that probably goes to show why, a couple of years later, he's out of business.
Yeah.
So when you see the success at this time, you're just back in Mid-South and you're kind of settling in. When you see that success, you obviously aren't signed to a contract there in Mid-South. So as a piece of you like, boy, maybe I ought to give Vince a ring right now and see what I can do?
That moment didn't happen until I had the conversation with Taylor.
Okay.
And when I had the conversation with Taylor and he told me I wasn't one of the top 4 baby faces in the company, then I said, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Hard to blame you, man. Who the hell wants to hang around that bullshit?
Yeah. I mean, he had himself above me. He had DiBiase above me. He had Hacksaw above me. He had Dr. Death above me. What the fuck? And I'm in the main event every night.
Yes, and just to remind our listeners that when this happened to you, which is whatever, like 8 or 9 months after this, you are a red hot baby face. You've gone the crowd turned you from heel to baby face, and that DDT is as over as anything in pro wrestling, and they're telling you like, you're probably whatever 6 on the card.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably a good thing that they got to eat it, though, whenever you did go up to New York. So they had to deal with that shit after you were gone.
Indeed.